All right, let's talk about GLP-1 drugs. This is a class of medication that it's completely changed the entire conversation we're having about weight loss. You've seen the names, right? They're absolutely everywhere. News headlines, your social media feed, Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro, Zepbound. But what are these drugs really? Why is everyone talking about them right now? You hear them called miracle drugs, the secret to the Hollywood red carpet. But, we need to look past all that hype. Let's get to what's actually going on here.
So, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down for you. How do they work? Who are they really for? What are the risks? And we're going to do it in plain, simple language, just the facts.
All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with what this GLP-1 revolution is all about. Then we'll dive into the cool science behind feeling full. After that, we'll get practical. Is it right for you? We'll also look at the massive business side of things, the billion-dollar race. And finally, we'll cover the alternatives. Okay, first things first, what are we even talking about? Well, the fancy name is GLP-1 receptor agonists. I know, it sounds super complicated, right? But the core idea is actually pretty simple, and it's all based on something your own body is already doing.
So this whole story really starts with a hormone called GLP-1. It's something your body makes naturally. Think about it. Every time you eat, your gut sends out this little messenger, GLP-1. And its job is to tell your brain, hey, we're good down here, getting full. It's literally your body's built-in stop eating signal.
So the big question is, how do these drugs tap into that? Well, you can think of it like this. They take that natural process and just turn the volume way, way up. They put it into overdrive. So your natural GLP-1 is a multitasker. It does 3 really important things. Number 1, it tells your brain you're full. Number 2, it signals your pancreas to release insulin, which helps with blood sugar. And number 3, it actually slows down how fast your stomach empties. That's a big one, because it keeps you feeling satisfied for a lot longer. Okay, now this is the real game changer. This is the key. Your body's own GLP-1, it does its job, and then poof, it's gone in just a few minutes. But these drugs, they're designed to stick around for days. So that I'm full signal doesn't just flicker on and off. It stays on, constantly telling your brain you're satisfied. And the result? You just naturally eat less.
And the results, well, they speak for themselves. In the clinical trials, we're talking about an average of 15% body weight loss for people on semaglutide. And with tirzepatide, which is a bit newer and targets 2 hormones instead of 1, that number jumps to over 20%. To be clear, these are the kinds of numbers we just weren't seeing with weight loss medications before. It's a whole new ballgame.
Okay, so with results like that, you're probably thinking, sign me up. But hold on. This brings us to the really practical questions. Who are these drugs actually for? And what are the catches? First off, you can't just buy these over the counter. You need a prescription. And the FDA has really specific guidelines. Basically, they're approved for adults who have obesity, which is a BMI of 30 or higher, or if you're in the overweight category, that's a BMI of 27 or more, you also need to have at least one weight-related health problem, like type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure. So let's be super clear about this. These are not for losing a few pounds for a vacation. They're serious medical treatments for a chronic health condition. And there are definitely people who should avoid them altogether, like women who are pregnant or anyone with a personal or family history of certain kinds of thyroid cancer. All right, let's talk side effects, because they exist. Most people who take these will experience some, especially right at the beginning or when they up the dose. We're mainly talking about stomach issues, nausea, constipation, that kind of thing. For most people, it does get better over time, but it's definitely something to be aware of. And this is maybe the most important thing to understand. These drugs are incredible at managing appetite, but they don't cure anything. The research is pretty clear. When you stop taking the drug, the food noise comes back, and so does the weight. So for a lot of people, this isn't a temporary fix. It's likely a long-term, maybe even lifelong commitment. So you've got incredibly high demand, and you've got a drug that people might need to take for years. What does that add up to? You guessed it, a massive billion-dollar market that is exploding with competition. Right now, it's pretty much a 2-horse race. You've got Novo Nordisk, the makers of Ozempic and Wegovy. They've already come out with a pill version, which is huge, right? No more injections. And then you have Eli Lilly with Manjaro and Zepbound. They're not sitting still, either. They're already working on what comes next, even more powerful drugs. And, of course, celebrities are talking about it. Oprah has been very open, and she makes a really interesting point. She doesn't see it as a shortcut or an easy way out. For her, it's a tool, a medical necessity to quiet what she calls the food noise, those constant cravings that come with a chronic condition. But you also hear the other side of the story. There are cautionary tales. Sharon Osbourne, for example, said she lost too much weight and felt it went too far. It's a powerful reminder that these drugs are incredibly potent and that everyone's experience is different. It really drives home why you need to be under a doctor's care. So, what if these drugs just aren't for you? Maybe it's the cost, maybe it's the side effects, or maybe it's just a personal choice. What are the alternatives? And more importantly, how do they actually compare?
Well, the cool thing is you can actually encourage your body to make more of its own GLP-1. Simple things, eating more soluble fiber, think oats and chia seeds, making sure your meals are packed with protein. Even certain kinds of exercise like strength training and HIIT can give your body a natural boost.
But we have to have a little dose of reality here. Let's take berberine. It's a popular supplement. Some people even call it nature's Ozempic. Studies show it leads to about 4.5 pounds of weight loss on average. Now compare that to losing 15% of your entire body weight with a drug like semaglutide. See the difference? The natural options can help, they can offer support, but they're just not in the same league. So where does that leave us? Look, there's no denying these drugs are a massive breakthrough. They're changing how we treat obesity as a real chronic disease. They're not a magic pill, but they are an incredibly powerful tool. I think the real question for all of us now is, how do we see them? Are they a vital medical tool for a serious disease? Or are they a convenient shortcut with risks we don't fully understand yet? It's a big conversation, and it's one we're just getting started with.